Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the 153rd episode of Twisted Strands. My name is Jeannie, but you could call me JD or whatever. I respond to both. Like I said, greetings. It is so hot today. It is disgustingly hot, and it is September 2nd, so what the fuck, weather? I know summer is still ongoing until later on this month, but I wish it were over already, given the heat. That and all the pools are closed, too. So you can't even go and get relief from the heat, which is not cool. Not cool at all. Anyway. This episode is brought to you by the Unfiltered Pumpkin Ale by Harpoon, I think. Anyway, it's yummy. I already reviewed this. It is quite pleasant on the palate and not bitter like a more hoppy beer. So I like this. I'm glad I picked this out of the many pumpkin ales that are popping up all over the liquor stores. Sorry, but like I said, it's super hot. Anyway, so, sorry about missing a week. I was exhausted and not in the mood to talk to anyone, and especially not to talk about myself, and you can tell that while I have the air conditioning on, it is quite yucky and sweaty, so sorry if you're offended by that. So anyway, what have I been up to? I have finished nothing. I haven't finished anything. But that's why they call it knitting and not sweater making, as Stephanie Pearl McPhee said. Now, my two major whips are, I brought these to Bridget's home so that I could work on them. So I brought these to a party because they were small, and it was a really big party, and I'm a little intimidated and unhappy during those unless I know a lot of people, but what can you do? Life comes at you. So I did do a few more decreases, tried to keep my shit together on these because I do get tangles, and sometimes I get them all on one needle and all that kinds of crap. There you go. But the other item that I've been working on shit. Sorry for the language, but the needle just fell out of this particular project. So let me tell you about it while I work at this, because I am not happy right now because of that. This is my boardwalk shawl, and for the boardwalk shawl I am using I'm not even sure. Just put that back there. Sorry for the interruption of the podcast. I am really happy with how this is coming out. I love the colors together. And sadly, I don't have my notes this week, and there will probably not be notes until next week. And of course, I've got this fucking charger all wrapped up in it. So sorry, I am ill prepared today, can you tell? But you know, I'm sure you understand. Especially if you have your own podcast or crafting interruptions. Life happens. Ugh, so tangly. And of course that probably made the needle fall out when it fell off my lap. Just lovely. Anyway. Anybody, of course, can find me under my Ravelry name and find all of my whips, whether I've been working on them or I've been ignoring them for other shinier things. I've always been into having multiple projects. And I will never put a phone charger or any type of charger in with my knitting again, because that was really fucked up, yo. Let's see if this stayed on the needle this time. Oh, it did. Good. It's a long... Oh, great! I created a knot. Oh, happy day. Ugh. Story of my life these past few months, right? One part comes together, the other part falls away forever. By the way, I wanted to say thank you to Sock Bunny. She sent me a sympathy card this week. And I really appreciate it, Kimberly. And so, it's going to be a big damn shawl. And I still have the tapered end to work on, and this is the edge. So you knit the edgewise. I don't think you are supposed to use wires to block this, but this is the boardwalk shawl. Now that my hands have been freed from untying knots and the like, let me go into my iPad thingy. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Why doesn't this just fucking work? Thank you. Jesus. Sarah Penderson. Here's a little note. Please don't fucking put cutesy things. It's Sarah Monty Hand Knits. That's the name of the company. But it says Sarah P-E or U N maybe D-E-R maybe S maybe R. Who the fuck knows? Because it's script writing. For the love of God, people, don't do that. Let us read your names. We want to give you free publicity. Other than that, it is a great pattern, and it's a paid pattern. I'm using Madeline Tosh DK with Lily Chin's discontinued Gramercy Park, I believe. Oh, that's nice. What the hell was that? Ugh. Anyway, I have hit the area where I do the tapered end, then I get to figure out all about wrapped stitches and turning and shit like that. And those are the two main projects that I'm working on. But I'm about to undertake my sweater for September. Let's see if I can get this fucker to work. Hang on. Excuse me. So inelegant. But I'm doing the calligraphy cardigan by Hannah Fettig. I know her patterns are very popular. For a good reason. It looks like a good pattern. And I don't know if this will show up. It kind of is, but it's this gorgeous dark blue with peacock green tones. And it is Mad Tosh's Stargazing color. So it's a multicolored. And I was thinking all about doing a swatch and planning and shit like that. And then life happened and I couldn't get to it. So I decided to fuck it. Let's just go for it and start the damn thing. I'll take a gauge swatch if I remember one. I get to the plain stockinette part of it and see if I'm doing alright. I normally gauge on the needle intended for the project, so I'm not too worried about it. So, going to start that. Excuse me, so sorry. Yes, I'm still exhausted. Hopefully I'll get my head out of my ass soon. Sorry for the extra fucks in this episode. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I really don't care if someone gets offended. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to title this Wool Pig. I know other people have had podcasts called Wool Pig, and this past week I've been doing a lot of shopping at some stores that are sadly closing and stores that are moving and having moving sales. So, thinking I needed a little bit of retail therapy, I went and bought lots of yarn, and that's probably going to be the rest of the podcast. But if you're curious, please stay. First, I'm going to start you off with a little fiber. I bought some washed locks of wool. Finn and I think Romney. I'm not sure if I have them in here. I don't think I do. I didn't have much room. But this is from Just Fibers, and it is a color shift top is what she named it, and it's Rainbow at Twilight, 100% superwash BFL wool. And yes, I like rainbows. I really like rainbows. I'm also purchasing some rainbow yarn from my good friend Elizabeth over at A Good Day for a Cupcake. She's going to be at the New Jersey Garden State Sheep and Wool Festival, which is awesome. So if you're in the New Jersey, PA, Lower New York, Connecticut area, feel free to stop by. I will be there on Saturday. I might enter my pretty blue skein of yarn that is somewhere, maybe over there. I don't know or care. I'm not in shape to care. Yeah, I'm in a lovely... Sorry. Anyway. So, I'm gonna try entering a skein into their wool contest. So, anyway, one of the things I made sure to pick up was some TARDIS colored yarn. I plan on making fingerless mitts with this, or maybe just mittens. I don't know. It's a beautiful royal blue. I see they have tons of free patterns and stuff, so I'm probably gonna do something like that. Now, this yarn, Long Meal Colori, I picked this one up. It's virgin wool, polyamide, and polyester. Still pretty soft, and it's, of course, my favorite color is blues with sparklies, so this is probably going to be a shawl. It's got a good yardage for it. It is... Bullocks. No, I can't fucking find it. 400 meters, so probably pretty good. And then I bought a bunch of this Cascade Cherub DK because I want to do something with color work in the really near future, and I was undecided as to which color to do. So this is all Cherub DK. I bought it because of that bicycle seat helmet. Jesus, that made no sense. I bought it because there was a cute bag to clip onto your bicycle, and there is no way I'm using non-washable wool. This is 100%, nope, 55% nylon, 45% acrylic. Should be more than enough for some cute Fair Isle things. And this stuff is going to start falling. I also purchased a sweater's worth of Rios. This is Rio. Rios? Rios. I said it correctly the first time. And it's purpurus. But they just couldn't say dark purple variegated. I have no clue. I don't care. But I figured this would be a really pretty sweater. It's a little tiny bit lighter than you see here. And I did have to go outside of the lot to pick up probably enough for me. So I bought enough of that to create a sweater because I loved the yarn and I thought that the blue was enchanting. So I was a little wool pig. I also bought some really fucked up looking blue nylon yarn from Japan and a cricket loom from my favorite store, which is moving even closer to me, which is dangerous, but hey. So I bought a cricket loom and I put it together the night I bought it, but I did not use it until a few days later. It was a downright catastrophe. Warping the loom, because I have a very bad kitty named Cleo who loves yarn. So she was pretty bad. So I made this god-awful looking scarf. And so, I mean, it's not a horrible failure, but clearly you can tell that there's some fuck-ups, and my edges are gnarly. I'm not sure I'm gonna get totally into this weaving thing, but it's nice to play with my yarn in more than so many ways that I already do. And Leanne, who is in my knitting group, had a good idea, although probably only works with her skinny ass neck, of putting it together like this with a little pin. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll give it to her after I wash it. I have no idea how to use this loom thing. I'm pretty impressed with how thin it makes things, which is of interest to me. So I'm probably going to be making dishcloths, regular cloths, and placemats and stuff and junk, or some scarves, this time long enough for a person to use. But anyway, this is my first attempt at weaving. It is downright shamefully bad, but it was my first project with it, so there you go. I purchased that loom for 20% off, which was really good, and I'm sure I'll get some use out of it. But that is what I purchased. Now, what have I been watching? I've been watching more Doctor Who. I watched the first episode of the 8th season, and I really enjoyed it. That's all I need to say. I think Mr. Capaldi is simply dashing. But then again, I'm attracted to men that like that. So, anyway, I know I'm not the only one. Buzzer. I should probably go. I only intended this to be a short podcast. I'm super tired and I should just retire to bed soon, and I think I will do that. Sorry it took me 2 weeks to reach this point where I could record again. Sorry for all the fucks I said. At least I had some fucks to give. Let me leave you with my favorite parting note before I fall asleep in my beer. Whenever you're doing crafts, from the simplest silly clay cigarette bowl or whatever ashtray thing, you know, those things you used to use your thumbs for? Yeah, from those to the most intricate quilted blanket. Yeah, I'm switching stuff up on you now. You are making the world a more beautiful place, and for that, I thank you. I will hopefully be up for this again next week. thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate this from the bottom of my heart, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, even if it sometimes just feels like I'm talking to a dead screen. I know somebody out there is watching, so I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye bye, everybody.